Hi everyone, my name is Sasha and I am an AR VR creative and designer. I work at a marketing agency called Digitas, which is where I am right now. And today we also have a lovely bunch of girls with us doing a work experience with us at Chancery Lane. And so we're a marketing agency and we do all sorts of fun things from brand campaigns to building apps and websites. And sometimes we use immersive tech in our work as well. We do bits of gaming and sometimes AR and VR. And today we are going to create our own AR lens, specifically this really popular quiz lens. But before we go ahead and do that, I'm going to give you a very short introduction to AR. So, do we all know what AR stands for? That's right. So AR is augmented reality, and it is a kind of technology that allows digital elements to be overlaid on top of the real world. So if we think about games like Pokemon Go, or in this example here, we have someone trying to place a virtual IKEA sofa in their environment. So AR is all about adding things, digital things into our lives. And the use of AR is actually really, really broad. So you'll all be familiar with the fun filters you have on Snapchat or on Instagram or games like Pokemon Go. But also increasingly, we see AR glasses on the market, things that can help you translate foreign languages in real time. Or even practical AR in marketing and in fashion, people trying on clothes virtually through AR. And you can even learn how to do sign language through AR filters. And it's not just entertainment, but also, for example, in industrial applications or in hospitals or in learning environments, people are also using AR as a learning tool. And if you've been following the news, Apple's just released this really exciting new AR headset, the Vision Pro. And who knows, maybe in the future, we'll all be working with AR headsets in augmented reality. And so the use of AR is actually really, really wide. But how are AR filters made? So there are three rough steps or three rough areas to creating an AR filter. It starts with your device. So we've all got our phones or our iPads, and we have massive, increasingly bigger and bigger cameras on them. So your phone, your device, not only captures your environment around you, but it also captures different kinds of data, like what height you're at, your location, where your phone is tilting. So it captures your surroundings with cameras and sensors. And then we bring these data into a software. So these are either gaming engines or AR software, such as Lens Studios, where we put everything together. We put in the AR objects, the digital elements we want to overlay in the experience, and we use and process the data to decide where we want the AR objects to be in the experience. And then finally, it all comes together in the app. So when you open Snapchat or Instagram, it shows your AR object on our screen in real time. And so that was a very short AR 101. And now we're going to create our own lens with Snap Lens Studio. So first thing is to open Lens Studio. And I hope all of you have downloaded Lens Studio on your computer. Cool. So if we open Lens Studio, you will see something like this, or maybe yours won't. Yours might tell you to log in. And once you've got Lens Studio open, the next thing I want you to do is to log into your Snapchat account. So you should be able to see this on your Lens Studio, and you'll need your phone for this to log in. And if any of you have any questions at any point, just shout. Yeah. Maddie, do you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should. Yeah, it's blue.
Yeah, we'll give everyone another couple of minutes to log in. Yeah.
I usually do myself.
Cool. So how's everyone doing online? Are you all logged in? If you have, do you want to give me a thumbs up so I can see how many of us are there? And then for those of you who have already logged in, if you don't mind just waiting for us in the room. So some of the girls need to go and get their phones to log in. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes so everyone's logged in and then we'll start. So yeah, we do this on our laptops. So your Lens Studio, when you open it, so on my end, I've already logged in, but you should have a button. If you're opening it for the first time, it should ask you to sign into your Snapchat account or log in. And when you are logged in, your screen should look something like mine. And I believe when you're logging in, it'll ask you what your Snapchat password is. I don't know if it requires your phone to do a two-step verification. Gemma, did it need your phone to log in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it needs to be tied to.
Yeah, it's 2 apps.
Yeah. Slightly annoying, isn't it?
It's more annoying.
Just checking if we've got any more questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making a new password really quickly.
Yeah, maybe like if you can't remember it, just do the forgotten password.
Anyone else here trying to remember their password? So if you are all logged in, just give me a thumbs up on my comment here, and then we'll just wait for everyone to get ready, and then we can get started.
Hello, wasn't expecting to come up on your screen. I was just going to say, I wonder if it's worth getting started, and I think people can maybe catch up a little bit if they're still logging in. Oh, you're on mute, Sasha.
Oh, sorry about that. If you give me 1 second, one of the girls in the room just as a question. I'll come back in a
Okay.
Cool. So because this is recorded, I think we'll just get ahead and then you can always come back and catch up. Cool. So most of you should have logged into your Snapchat by now, and it should look something like this. And what we can do, so if you already downloaded a folder with the materials, so I've got mine here. So there are two folders in the materials that we've sent over. One of them is called What Are You Quizlens? And if you open that folder and open this yellow icon here, that will be our working file. Has everyone got this? Yep. Anyone having problems? So open projects.
I think someone on the call put their hand up, but I don't know if it was by accident. I saw a
Sure.
hand go up.
Yep. Does anyone have any question? Or is it in the comments? Okay, someone's typing. So if we click open project and then there's a material folder that I've sent out before, if you click on that. No worries. Cool. So to show you again, oops, sorry, wrong tab. We've got a material folder called AR Workshop Materials. And then within there, we've got these two folders. And then we have What Are You Quizlens? And then we click open this isproj file, which is the yellow one here. That should lead us here. So hopefully all of you have this open in front of you now. Are we all good in the room?
Yeah.
Cool. Lovely. So here we are inside Learn Studio, and it can look kind of scary, this interface of so many different things. But actually, so as we can already see, if I refresh this, we already have a template set up for it, which is what character are you? And if I open my mouth, you can see it generates a result for me. So this is a template we're going to work on. So we're not going to build our experience from scratch, but rather we're just going to swap out different elements within this lens. So creating an AR lens, it might look quite scary, but a simple analogy would be like cooking. So imagine you're cooking and you've got all the food in the fridge and you take stuff you want for a meal out, you take out different ingredients and then you prepare it and then you cook it. And this is what Lens Studio is pretty much as well. So if we start from the bottom left corner where we are in resources, where my mouse is here, your resources is kind of like your fridge, is where everything is. So all the materials you need in this particular experience in your project is in resources. So when we add something new, we also drop it in resources. And then looking up on the top left, we've got our objects panel. So this is where we put all of the things we want to use in this particular lens. So these are like the ingredients you've taken out of the fridge, you've laid them on the kitchen counter. And then you can click on each individual item here and you'll see that corresponding on the right in the inspector panel, you've got all these things, these different settings. So where you have objects in the objects lens, you can adjust them in the inspector panel. So this is where we tell different elements what to do, how to behave in the experience. So that's like preparing your ingredients and cooking. And then finally, on the right, we've got our preview panel, which shows us what it should look like on your phone. And every now and then, if you see where I'm clicking here is a refresh button, so you can get your lens to start again. So hopefully everyone is seeing what I'm seeing. And in this template, I've put some hints here. So if you ever get lost, you can refer back to this document. So this template allows us to quickly build a quiz lens. And there are two things we can change here for today's workshop. So the first thing we're going to look at, so this lens is what character are you? And then if I open my mouth, it triggers the experience. So the first thing we can change is what actions we take for this experience to start. So I've opened my mouth, but we can change that. So if you find on the objects panel on the left, we go to controller, and then we go one down to spinner trigger, edit trigger here. Then you'll see on the inspector panel, you've got all these different things. And we've got 2 script items. We've got one here and one here. And if anyone gets lost and can't see where I'm at, just shout, and then we can repeat the steps again. So we're at controller, and then on the inspector panel, we've got our second script object, which is roughly here, right next to the preview lens. And if you can see here down under, we've got trigger and we've got event type. And you'll see on the right, it says mouth opened. And if we drop down, you'll see there are several different options. For example, mouth closed, in which case this lens is not triggered by me opening my mouth anymore. See, it does nothing. If I close my mouth, that triggers the event. Or alternatively, we could change options to brows raised. So every time I raise my brow, it starts spinning. And then every time I stop raising my brow, the experience stops. Or you can even choose things like kiss started. So the choice is yours in event type. So when you start swapping out and creating your own lens, you can choose what action you take, what action triggers your lens. So that's the first thing we can do here. I'm going to change mine back to mouth opened. How's everyone doing? Is everyone good? Yeah. Anyone stuck? All following? I'll take the silent as a yes. Okay, so now that we've changed our trigger, we can go to the example. So there are different examples we can try within the template. If we go back to the objects panel again, and then we were at controller, spinner trigger, and now if we go one more down to spinner examples, to images and text example, where there's a big capital edit me. So we're here now. And then we can see again in the inspector panel, there are loads of things we can edit, but we're going to focus on where there's a bit of color here, if you can see on my inspector panel. And now you can probably work out, if you read through the script object, these are the things we see in the experience. So it starts with a text prompt saying, what character are you? So that's the question we ask for the lens. And then if we go down, we can see in the content values. So it's called content values, but these are really the different options, different choices for our lens. So we've got 3 options here, 3 different values. One is kitty. That's on my face right now with a kitty image, and we can see the background is red. And then we've got owl and panda. And we can change all of these. So for example, if I change the color here from red to say green, then you can see it's changed the background color for kitty here. And then I can also change the name, or I can choose a different image. And if we wanted to add another value, we can add it here, or we can delete it. So this is where we can edit the content of this spinner lens. So is everyone still following me? Are we all good? Cool. So now that you've seen the 2 things you can change, which is what action triggers your experience and what's the different content for your lens, we can go about changing them. So I know it's going to be kind of hard for you to look at the example and then try it on your laptop at the same time. So I'm going to do one demonstration first, and then you can have a try. And then I'm going to give you some time to think about what lens you want to create, find images, and then we're going to do it together again. So I'm going to repeat this step quite a few times. So don't worry. So for example, now we're going to go about changing a lens, and the lens I want to create is what Disney villain are you? So I've got a folder of things downloaded. So here, and you should have this too. So if you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to. So here I've got a folder of Disney villain PNGs, and I've downloaded these images of my favorite Disney villains. And we're going to swap them out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to my folder here, and I'm just going to drop it into my resource panel. And so you can see it's now already in the resource panel. Or alternatively, you can also click on the little plus icon here and then import file, and then you can choose whatever folder, but it's probably easier for you to have the folder and drop it in the resources panel. So now that we have it in the resources panel, you can see these different images here. We're going to go back to our example. So our spinner example, and then I'm going to change the text on the inspector panel to what Disney can't spell. What Disney villain are you? And so you can see on my preview now, it's changed the question to what Disney villain are you? And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out the images. So under the content and values, we've got these 3 different items, and they're still, where's refresh again? So if we look at the preview panel, and then up on preview, you've got all these tiny little icons right above. And then the preview is the refresh button here. Have you found it? Cool. So we go to refresh, we've got the question sorter, and the next thing is to swap out the images. So I'm going to go to values, and we've got text, image, and color for each of the options. So I'm going to click on image, and then you should have a pop-up like me. And then here I'm going to select Disney villain PNGs. So this is my folder of images, and I'm going to click on Scar and go OK. So now you can kind of see it's already changed it. So I'm also going to change the name to Scar. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to swap out the owl image for Yzma. And going to change the name to Yzma. And finally swap out Panda for, shall we say, Jafar. Cool. So if we refresh it again, then I've got a lens ready. I've got a Disney villain lens. And if I wanted to add more, then I can click on add value here, which is right under the last option. And we can add another one, and we can choose another image. Voila. There we go. So now I've got 4 options. And I pretty much have my lens made. So it's that simple, and you're very welcome to have a try and follow along. You can choose to do that, but also I am going to show you there are different examples you can choose. So more examples we can use. So this one is what Disney villain are you? And then you've got an image, and then you've got a name and a color. But what if we want to make something like, say, just with numbers? So for example, this one is what's my age again? So in this example, we don't have any images. There are only different numbers and options, but it's a similar kind of thing. So there are different examples within this template for us to try. And don't get lost here. So if we want to try a different example, we'll go back to our objects panel on the left, and then where it says spinner examples at the drop down, you'll see that there are 3 different kinds of examples underneath, but each time we only choose one, because if we choose two at the same time, then it confuses Lens Studio. So what I've done here is we were here previously with the examples and I've unticked it and I'm going to tick that one. So now I'm at a different example. So what's my age again? And we can see with the content values here, they don't have any images and you can change the numbers. So if I put test, you might see it show up or not. But you can see that there are a lot of options. So we've seen all these numbers spin around, but actually all these numbers are different options that have been put in. So this is one other example we could do, or I'm going to try a third example. So I'm going to go back to spinner examples, unclick the previous one, and I'm going to go down to emoji text example and click that one. And so you can see now, it's a third example. It's make this emoji face. And it still works in the same way. So if we go to the script object in the inspector panel here, we'll see here's the question, and then here are the different options. And instead of putting in a number, you just put in an emoji on your keyboard. So these are 3 different examples, but they all work in pretty much the same way. The only thing to take note again is when you untick an example, make sure that you're only ticking one of these 3. So if you accidentally untick spinner trigger, then you untick all the examples. So spinner example is a parent object, and then all these 3 other examples are child objects that sit under it. So if we go back to the classic one we had before, which is our Disney villain one, we're going to go back to this one. And yes, so how's everyone doing? Are we all good? Mildly confused? Lost on the way? Hopefully not. Oh, I think you've done it. I can see in the room. You've done it. All good. Fabulous. So hopefully that wasn't too complicated at all. So over the next 10, maybe 12 minutes, we're going to create our own quiz choices. So I'm going to ask you to think about a theme, what you want, and then find images online. And when you find images, make sure to save them as JPEGs or PNGs. Other kinds of images won't quite work on Lens Studio. So I've created a folder with Disney villains, and I want you to do the same. Find images choices, save them, name them, put them in a folder, and then we'll drop them in again if you've missed them for the first time round. So all good. And I'm going to mute myself and then we're going to come back in about 10, 12 minutes. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to show your camera, ask me questions. Yeah. They're going to stop screen sharing. Yep, I can see someone's raised their hand.
Hi, I just was wondering, is there a way to like change the duration of the like shuffle, if that makes sense?
There should be. Let me find the shuffle. That's a really good question. I personally have never tweaked the time shuffle on this, but let me find it.
It's just because when I think about Snapchat filters, I know some of them go on for quite a while, so I was just wondering if that's like something we change.
So I'm going to share my screen. So if I go back to the inspector panel again, we've got script object, text size. It's a very good question because I never thought about changing it, and I'm trying to find it on this template, which I didn't make.
Because I looked at when it, when it has the spinner trigger,
Yeah.
When it says the delay time, I tried editing that, but I just thought that that would kind of delay when it first starts, not how long it goes on for. So
That's
wasn't
right.
really
I
sure.
saw that as well here in the delay time. And I can't seem to find an option for how long this is going to trigger. So randomize the start. So custom. Might it be an example here? Question content. So I'm going to try is it Tammy?
Oh, Shabomi.
Shaboni, sorry. Tammy is
Sorry.
not. Sorry, Shaboni.
No
So
problem.
if you see where I am so I'm in the example, and then we've got all these different content values, and
Yeah.
then what I've done is I've ticked the advanced box
Yeah.
here, and then here it says delay between images. I'm gonna bump this up and
Oh,
see what it does.
okay.
See, oh, I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a lot
Okay.
slower. And delay before stop. So if I bump that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think these are the parameters we can tweak.
Yeah. Oh, great. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Can you see this in like a script view?
You so script view. So there's a script editor within Lens Studio.
I think that it just.
And I think here it's just made everything into variables so you can tweak them directly in script.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask as well, do you know when, like for this one, when it takes
If you're already done and you're absolutely confident with what you need to do, you're more than welcome to start swapping out the lens, the different options, and testing out your own lens. And then also different examples, feel free to play around with them. Right now, we're just waiting for everyone to have thought about what their lens is and downloaded the images. And then so what I'm going to do after all this is I'm going to repeat this again so those who haven't followed along the first time can follow along. Emily, I know that our workshop ends at 45. Do you think it's okay if we run a bit over? Is everyone okay for time?
Sorry.
That is fine by me. We're recording, so if anyone does have to drop off at 1:45, they can just watch it back later if they miss anything. So I'd say carry on if you've got more to share.
Cool. Thanks, Emily. Yes, sorry for dragging on for longer than we had planned, girls. And yeah, we'll come back at 11:45 and then we'll drop our images in together again. And then I'm going to show you how you can test this on your phone. And then we'll finally publish the lens together so you can share this with your friends. And if you have any questions in the meantime, send them over. Cool. All of this. Hi everyone. Hopefully you've all found images. How are we all doing? Does anyone still need a couple of minutes? Sounds like we're all good, given the silence. Cool. Just out of interest, how many of you have gone with the default sort of image and name kind of lens? Has anyone chosen to do a lens that's text only or emoji only? And if you are choosing this, are you okay doing it, or do you need me to go through this with you again? So I'm assuming everyone's doing this kind of lens. Cool. So does anyone, would anyone like me to go through swapping out the images again? Just send a thumbs up in the chat or just reply yes, and then we'll do it. Otherwise, can I assume everyone's done it? Okay, no worries. So we're in the objects panel and we go to the example, the image and text examples here, where it says edit me. And then under the inspector, we've got all these different elements. And then,
Oh, yeah.
so here we have under the prompt text, we put in our title. So what lens, what Disney villain are you? And then underneath, ignore these, ignore these, ignore these. Where you see these bright colors, these are our options. And you can see each value has a name, an image to it, and a color. And then there's another one, an image text color. And say if we delete all of these, we'll start again. So I'm going to add a value here. So you probably don't have advanced text. So add value. Cool. We'll go through how to change the spin time again as well. So here we have a new empty value. I'm going to put in a text. I know this is going to be Isma, can't spell. And then we've put in the name in the text, and under image here, I'm going to click. And I should have dropped my images here. And I'm going to choose Isma. And I'm going to choose a color for her. So we're going to go with this one. And so now I've got two choices. And if you've already downloaded your images and they're not showing up in here, just make sure you've dropped them in resources. So if you've downloaded your images, we'll create a new folder for them. And if your images are all in the folder, we'll just drag and drop them in. And I'm not going to do that again because, well, and I'm going to add some more values. So I'm going to add some, just going to start.
Nobody got spoke.
Cool. So whoever was asking the question earlier, is that all good? You've managed to drop images in and you can add in the different choices. And then if we want to change the time, how long these spin on for and how long it takes before you stop. So if we look at all the choices here, the content values, underneath we've got a little box that's not been ticked here called advanced. Can you all see? And then if I click advanced, then I've got more options. So then we have delay between input and delay before stop. So delay before inputs, the longer you drag this, the slower, the more time you have to show each choice. So I'm going to drag this back to 0.31 and delay before stop. So this is where if I've closed my mouth, how long it takes to show my final result. So yeah, it keeps spinning for a little bit longer before it shows me the result. But if I set this to a very low number, it kind of shows me the result instantly. So I like to drag this a little bit longer so there's more suspense. Yeah, I think that's more fun, at least for me. So just checking if we have any more questions. Cool, no worries. So hopefully by now we all have a lens set up. Advanced setting doesn't seem to be coming up for me. Would it help if you shared your screen and then we can have a look and see? Will that be a good idea?
Sure.
Cool. So I'm going to stop sharing and yep.
Give me 2 secs. Where am I?
I think you need to save it in a Can you just take screen? Are they saving the images in different formats? No, that's a PNG, but if you want it, you know when you've got that see-through, like the checkers. Yeah. You need it in something else. That's not compatible. It's just gonna do it for these.
Can you see?
Yep, it's loading. I should be able to see in a second. Yep, I can see it.
So I've ticked it. So there's no advanced.
And if you scroll down, there's still nothing. That's really odd. That's really weird. Yeah, I can see your screen and then hang on, are you are you at the image and text example one? Just to check you're on the right object.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that in the inspector. And then if you untick advanced and tick again, it's just not showing up.
No, it's not there.
Not really. In which case it might be a Lens Studio glitch. So if you save this file, and then reopen it again, that might work.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. I'm afraid I have no better solution than the good old turn it off and on again. Happens.
Thank you.
No worries. Sorry, that wasn't super helpful. Does anyone else have any questions? Are we all good? Okay, cool. The good old silence that we like. So now that we have, so assuming that you now all have some lens on your preview, I'm sure the next thing you want to do is actually test it on your phone. So what we're going to do now is if you look at preview, and I'm just going to look up and point up here. If you look at send to Snapchat, where it says here, can you see the drop down on the upper right corner? And then you should be able to see a button for you pair new Snapchat account. So if you've got this, take out your phone and your Snapchat and just scan it, and that pairs your phone Snapchat with Lens Studio. So if we go back on the top right, so rather than send to Snapchat, it's pair new Snapchat account. Yeah, and then we pair it with our phone. And then once that is done, then you have the option to send to Snapchat, and it'll say something like sending, and it'll tell you lens send on the corner. So what it then does is on my phone, you can see that's me. And then there's a little icon here. I'm going to click it. and then it's kind of working on my phone within Lens Studio, which is very confusing, but you get the idea. So yeah. Has everyone managed to test it on their own phones? Is anyone having issue with the send to Snapchat? No? No, as in no problem, as in no, I haven't managed to do it. That's okay. Is there anything I can help with specifically, or do you just need a bit more time? Because it can take a bit of time for it to be sent to your phone.
For some reason, it just doesn't seem to work for me. Maybe it's just me.
No, that's quite annoying.
It's working for everyone else. It says sending. Ah, right. Okay.
So if it says sending, does it then show you that it's been sent? Or is it just taking forever to send?
It's just taking forever to send.
Might be just slow.
Okay. Might just be, yeah, exactly, because I'm saving at the same time.
Still sending it tomorrow.
Oh, okay, that might be it. So saving it might take a little bit of time, and then yeah. Cool. I'm just going to check on the girls in the room, and then we'll come back to publish it. Cool. I'm back. It's all good in the room. We've all got our lenses on our phone and it's looking good. And if you've got the same, I'm sure you want to publish it and not just have it on your phone for preview, because with a preview, it kind of disappears after a day. I'm sure we want to publish it and send it to our friends. And so the way to do it is where you see publish lens, do not click it. Do not click publish lens yet. Go to, if you see on publish lens on the top left corner on the right, there's something called project info, and I want you to click on that. So before we publish our lens, project info is where you change the name of the lens showing on Snapchat so everyone can search for it, and you can change the icon and you can change a short description. So if you have trouble finding it, again, it's top left corner, and then where you see publish lens, there's also project info. So we're at project info. And what I'm going to do is click on the little icon here. So by default, it's a little robot with a question mark. I'm going to click on it, and let's just say, to be quick, I'll change it to Isma because we love her so much. And then I'm going to change the name to what Disney villain? Is there a name limit? Lens name? Okay. Seems like there's a character. Disney villain lens. Won't give me the S. Okay, so it looks like the number of characters we can use is very limited. I'm just going to use Disney villain if I spelt that right. And then if you ignore this bit, I think we should all be fine for size. But see here, my file size was only 0.63 megabytes, and that's fine. The maximum lens size is 8 megabytes. So if your images happen to super, super, super high quality and it's massive, it might be bigger than that. But hopefully all of our lenses should be smaller than that. And then down here where it says hint, because mine is triggered by me opening my mouth. And so I'm going to choose open your mouth. So that's the hint that will appear on the lens when you first see it. And if you choose the wrong one, so for example, when the lens requires you to open your mouth, but you've done kiss, then unfortunately that person will never get to the lens. So make sure it's on, it matches what you've chosen for the trigger. And if anyone needs me to go to how to change the trigger again, just pop it in the chat and then I'll show you again. Everything else is fine. I think we leave it as it is and then we click apply. So if we click on project info again, we see that it's now our settings in here. And so this is how we want the lens to be seen on Snapchat. All good on project info? Anyone need help or repeating? Cool. And then finally, now that you've done the project info, we can go to publish lens. And so that's happened really fairly quickly for me because this lens is quite small. So when you click publish lens, it basically just uploads it to Snapchat. And then it should then take you directly to a Snapchat browser page where you should be seeing something like this. So we've got select lens folder, depends what you have. So here I'm going to choose a folder I already have. And if at any point you get confused, just shout stop on the chat and I'll stop. So here we are, close. And I'm under the right folder. I'm just going to click submit lens. And when you click submit again, it will ask you to choose within categories. So this is to help people find your lens on Snapchat. So, you know, sometimes when you search for funny lens or Halloween lens, so you can choose what kind of style, but usually I just click self-expression or funny, and then secondary category, I guess, characters. And then tags, you can choose whatever tags you want. You can also upload a lens preview, but that's optional. And then finally, you can choose different triggers. So this is the fun bit about Snapchat. So if you choose, so we choose person, and then you can also choose a cat or dog if you've got one at hand. And I think that means it works on cats and dogs. I think. Let's have a try. And then so once you've selected your scan triggers, then yeah, you can click upload and publish. And it will be published to my profile. It'll be public. So if you're at this page, if you choose for it to be hidden, then you have to send the code to your friends or send them a link for them to access it, whereas public means they can just search for it. But I think because there's so many lenses with similar names on Lens Studio, the easier thing might be just to make it public and then send your friends the snap code anyway. So I'm going to click upload and publish, and we get this lovely fox. And we go to my lenses. So you'll see here, if I click on my lenses, you'll say processing. So it might, even a simple lens like this might take up to 2 hours or maybe even a day, just this admin process of approving it, making sure there's nothing wrong about it or weird about it. So it's just processing. But then after a while, so currently where it says public, it's all sort of hashed out. But when your lens is properly published, you should be able to get a snap lens, a URL, and then you can just share that with your friends. So yeah, that's the end of it. And I'm just going to sit here and see if anyone's got questions or need help again. All good? Silence of confidence? Yeah, you can only pair it with one phone.
You publish it, they'll be there access.
Yeah, if you publish a lens and then once it's fully published, you'll get a snap code and you just send the snap code around to your friend and then you'll have access. Yep, how to upload the lens again. Cool. So lens, you're happy with everything, and then you go Oh, you can't see your phone paired yet. That's still slightly annoying. Sorry about that. So if you want to just send it to your phone, then you pair it with a Snapchat account and then you send it to your Snapchat. But if that's taking too long and you're happy with what's in the preview, we can just go ahead and publish it. And then the first thing is to click on project info. It's on the top left corner. So if you see Lens Studio, file, edit, my lenses, right below edit, it should be project info.
Sorry, what I mean is on the phone. So when you're on your phone,
Yeah.
where do you see the lens after it's supposedly sent it to your Snapchat?
So if it says sent to your Snapchat, so my Snapchat looks like that, and then usually it's kind of sorry, a bit fidgety. So usually it hasn't got anything on, you haven't got a lens on, but for this preview in particular, it should always appear first to your right of the empty lens. So it should be.
Okay, so it's not coming through.
So it's not coming through. Sorry, it's a bit difficult to
No,
do.
that's, yeah, exactly. No, it's fine.
Yeah, but if it's not showing up there, then I think I might as well publish it.
Okay.
You okay with the publishing part, Tammy?
Don't worry about me. I'll catch up. I'll have to catch up somewhere else.
No worries. Cool. So project info first, and then once you're happy with the name and everything, and then make sure the hint is correct. And then apply, and then go to publish lens where it's being uploaded. And then you should really finish off here. So just a quick show of hands, or just how is everyone done? Has everyone finished their lens? Has everyone published it, or is in the process of publishing it?
No.
Is it Danea? Have I said your name right? Sorry.
It's Danaya.
Danaya. Hi,
I
Danaya.
just hi. I'm just a little bit confused because when I go in it asks me to add it to some sort of organization, and I don't really know what that means.
Yeah. Is there a way to add an organization or skip one? Will it still let you continue with the organization? Does it have options? Because I know I've experienced that when I first.
Sorry, that's my dog. Allura, look at you. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anyway, yes, sorry.
No
when
worries.
I go on it, it doesn't let me. It like makes me select an organization. It makes me create a new organization, but then I still don't know what to actually put in the little thing because it's suggesting me to put my Snapchat username, but I don't know if I should do that or not.
So this is my personal Snapchat account, but I've always just put testing, Sasha testing or Digitas testing. If it asks you to create an organization, I just put a testing as a folder name.
I'll write that down then.
It just seems that it won't let you proceed without having an organization.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Cool. Am I still sharing my screen? I'm not sharing my screen anymore. I have no idea. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions? And I'm really curious because I can't see your screens. What lens did you all make?
Oh, we made a what utensil are you?
What kitchen? I've tried that.
Try it.
I'm just gonna try this lens in the room. What kitchen utensil am I? I'm about to find out.
I want you to see the man.
Cool. I'm a fork, so turns out I've been a fork all my life. So my spiritual utensil is a fork. So what lens have you created? Oh yeah, because you had the Leonard screenshot. That's really cute. I'd like to try that one. What did everyone else online create? I think the last time I did this workshop, my favorite one was "What pizza are you?" and there were different toppings. That was really good. Yeah. Okay, so what machine are you? That's so cute. Oh, so you made a lens but accidentally deleted it. How did what did you do to think you deleted it? Do you think there's a way we can recover it?
Basically, I tried to go like undo, and because my computer's so slow, I was just clicking around, and then it went back and like somehow kind of crashed. So the whole thing just went away. So I'm just trying to make it again.
Has it? Hopefully, it shouldn't take you too long. And
No, you
we've
shouldn't.
always,
I mean, I have all the pictures saved anyway, so.
yeah, I think you'll be fine. And actually, you've been through the entire workshop, and at the beginning, you may have thought this was a complicated process, but I think most of you have realized how easy peasy it is. It's just dropping
Yeah.
images into a template. It can get a lot more complicated. Sometimes you create location lenses or more sophisticated AR projects, and Lens Studio is capable of doing a lot of amazing things, but it also has really simple starter templates for people who've never tried it before to just get their hands on it. And yeah, so in the last 40, 50-ish minutes, we've made our first AR lens and got it published on Lens Studio. So that's on Snapchat. So that's quite an achievement. Well done, all of you.
Danaya's hands up. I don't know if she has a question or if it's left up from before.
Oh,
have you got
sorry,
a question?
that's my bad. I don't know how to take it down. Lower hand.
Oh.
There we go. Thank you.
That's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
That's all right. Just wanted to check.
Cool. So my lens Disney Villa one, as you can see, still processing. So if you click to lenses, you should see I've published a few more before. And then, for example, with this one, you'll see that that's already been published. And then you can always change your settings here. And then when it's published, you'll see the share lens little icon here. And then that means it's copied to your clipboard. And then you can then send to, say, send this lens for Gemma to try. And then if Gemma clicks on the lens, the link, you should get the snap code and you should be able to share things with your friends. So once it's published. So yeah, come back and check it over the next few hours. And that brings us to the end of the workshop. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with me. I hope I haven't lost any of you or thoroughly confused you at any point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you've all managed to actually make lenses.
Honestly.
Thank you, Sasha. I really appreciate you taking the time and especially going on a bit longer just to make sure that everyone had a chance to make their own lenses. It's very cool.
Not at all. I apologise for this being longer than we expected as well.
No, that's fine. I think people will appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have a longer session. If anyone does decide to post about today's workshop or share anything about your lenses that you created on social media, please tag Next Tech Girls, and then we can also tag Sasha in it so she can see it. It'd be really nice to see what you've been working on.
Yep. And if you've got any more questions, feel free to just send me an email or a message. Emily should have my email address to share.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah, I'll send a
I'll put
message in a little bit, and if anyone does want the recording, let me know. And yeah, I can send you Sasha's email address and maybe your LinkedIn as well. Would that be okay, Sasha, if anyone wants to connect with you on LinkedIn?
Sure thing. Sorry, I've been silly. I'll just put my email address here. So
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, if you've got any questions, just email me, ping me on LinkedIn. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Perfect.
Hope you've had a nice hour and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Sasha. You too.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye.
Ellie.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.